Welcome to the Global Supply Chain Program. I don't know if you're aware, this is the Global Supply Chain Program is one of the top supply chain programs in the United States and probably in the world as well. And being in the supply chain field for all my career, I can tell you that you have come to the right place to study supply chain. My name is Robert Wang, and in the next 10 minutes or so, I would like to share with you a course that I developed. But before I jump into the detail of it, I would like to first introduce a little bit about myself and tell you a little bit about why I teach in the Marshall School of Business. Right? So this comes, like many of you, I came to the United States in 1989. And in the third year of my doctoral program at the UCLA, and I was studying operations management, and I had an opportunity to work for a small manufacturing company as an intern. And I was very excited because I was asked to do inventory optimization for that small company. And obviously I took all the courses and I did well in all these courses, the inventory courses. I thought I was going to be able to make a big differences over there. But on the first day, when I get to the company and then talk to the people over there, I came to realize that I was pretty much lost. I don't know what to do, because it seems like everything that I learned in the course, it doesn't really seem to apply. And there's clearly a big gap between what you learned in the academic world versus what actually going on in the industry. So that experience has really shocked me, and it changed my direction, my career direction. So when I finished the program, I instead of going to teach in university, I made a change, and I choose to go to work for industry. So in the next couple of years, I started with consulting. I started a consulting career and worked for, at that point in time, it was like a big 5 consulting company. And I spent about 7 years and doing supply chain consulting. And after that, I worked for Nestle, which is a CPG company. And since then, I'm still actually working full-time at Nestle, and teaching is just a bit of a kind of a side job, or it's a hobby, if you will. And I only teach one semester per year, so very, very light. So the group that I'm with at Nestle is enterprise. It's called Enterprise Analytics. This group essentially is internal consulting, and so being with this group, I get a chance to be exposed with all kinds of supply chain problems, and I'm deeply involved in develop solutions for all these problems. So I learned a great deal, and a couple of years ago, I had an opportunity that I can actually work at the USC, teaching at the Marshall School. So I was very excited because I feel like I have now had an opportunity to take everything that I learned and package it up and create a course, and to share that with the student. And that was, really just to address the issue that I had during my internship. So essentially, this course that I'm talking about here is called the Supply Chain Analytics, and that is this course that I'm referring to. So now let me tell you a little bit about this course. There is no textbook, and everything that's in this course essentially is all the experiences and all the things that I learned in Nestle. So the course is putting a context. It's under like a CPG company as a background context. Everything you learned is sort of like under the CPG kind of industry, if you will. And just like any supply chain course, it would cover some of the basic, supply chain functions like demand planning, supply planning, inventory planning, DRP, transportation, network optimization. All these things will be covered. But it's the way that it's covered, the approach that's taken. I'm taking an approach, I call it the data-driven approach. This is very different from a traditional management approach like experience-based. One of the problems with experience-based decision-making is that you have to have enough experiences to starting to be able to make good decisions, have a good sense of it. And not to mention that personal experiences can be very, very biased. Whereas data-driven decision-making is a very different approach. You essentially are looking for root causes that actually presented itself within the data. It might be hidden in the data. So you have to do a lot of data analysis and trying to figure that out. What is the root cause? And then you go on and try to solve that problem. So, and along with this approach, at the beginning of this semester, you're going to be you will receive a very large data set in a database. And this is a data set you're going to be working with it across the entire course, right? So the entire course, you can think of that as like a giant case study. And everything that we learned, every topic, is under the context of this CPG company. And although CPG company is pretty, it has a lot of similarity to other industry as well. And whatever that you learned, you will find that it's very applicable to many other industry as well. And obviously there are going to be lectures in the course, but the interesting thing is you're going to be doing hands-on 4 different projects. And it's going to cover in this different area. Each one of those projects are major projects that I have gone through and experienced through my career. Those are real problems, and these are the kind of problems that you're going to be dealt with in companies that you're going to be working for. So this is a very, very real problem. Along with this project, doing all these 4 projects, you're going to be introduced to using some analytical tool. So for example, database. You're going to learn how to do queries and extracting critical information that is hidden in the data. You're going to be using Tableau to visualize data and find root causes of problems. You're going to be using pivot tables, which is something that can help you slicing and dicing and drill down and to find out what's going on for the reason or the cause of certain phenomena. And you're going to also be having the opportunity to using optimization solver. And it's a very innovative ways of solving a business problem. So all these things is going to be packed in this course. And you might be asking what you're going to be getting out of it. Well, let me tell you, first of all, when you're going through this whole semester, because it's very packed with the material, and you essentially are getting equivalent of 1 to 2 years of working experience, I wanted to say, that in a large CPG company, because all these problems are typically that what you're running into. And then also you're going to develop skills in using database, Tableau, solvers, and how to model business problems. And you also be able to use those skills pretty much right away, because these are things that are very applicable. And in the last couple of years, when I'm teaching this course, I've been receiving great feedbacks from students, and many times students come to talk to me and say that this is one of the most useful courses that they've ever taken, and they found that whatever that they learned from it, be able to use it in their job immediately. And so I wanted to tell you that I wanted to share with you. This is a course which really, in my mind, closed the gap between the academic kind of a curriculum and the real world application, right? So I'm sure that you're going to find, if you're serious about supply chain, I'm sure that you're going to find this course is going to be very, very useful. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you in my class, and thank you.